Okay, so in this video we're going to have a look at how the Deputy Prime Minister of Canada was harassed by one of the natives, one of the plebs, some deplorable redneck trailer trash in Alberta.
Smithers, what's happening?
I had a great time. I just want to shake your hand.
Smithers, help!
So we're going to take a look at a posh politician out of their comfort zone. We're not condoning anything. It was definitely an uncomfortable thing to watch. But then we're going to watch one of my favourite people in the world, Justin Trudeau, almost brought to tears by what happened. I can't understand it. He doesn't understand how Canada is so full of absolutely deplorable human beings. Racists, misogynists, anti-vaxxers, COVID deniers, truckers. So yeah, basically what I want to look at in today's video is, yes, the incident of the harassment of the Deputy PM of Canada, but also at the same time I want to be a bit more nuanced and look at the reaction from the political class where they have zero accountability for things that are going on. People are angry because of you, not because they're racists and misogynists, backward hicks. They're angry because their living standards are palpably worse. They're angry because they can see that the country is spiralling out of control. Their purchase power is going down. They can't afford to pay their bills. And they hold you responsible. What's interesting about this video is I think that Justin Trudeau, you will see, has a moment of sort of almost realization while he's talking. He says a couple of interesting things which I think that like a Freudian slip or something. Anyway, let's just get into the video. Let's have a look at the initial incident that we're talking about here.
Oh, right there she is. Elias. Right there. Great, that's Chrystia.
Chrystia!
Yes.
What the fuck are you doing in Alberta? You f***ing traitorous bitch! Get the fuck out of this province!
You don't belong here.
You're a traitor! You fucking bitch!
Yeah, go ahead and hide.
Alright guys, you got a traitor in the elevator. Chrystia Freeland, I'm going.
I shouldn't laugh, and I'm not laughing at that. Mainly, it's just that every time I hear an angry Canadian now, it's Trailer Park Boys, isn't it? Especially when he looks like that. Get the fuck out of our trailer park! Ricky, you asshole! You can't go mouthing up at the Deputy Prime Minister like that! I think we can all agree that the behaviour of that man is not... It's not civil. You don't go up to people and start screaming in their face. But I believe that his frustration is real. I don't believe it's just political. I don't believe that that man is a bad man because he did that. These are real frustrations, and these politicians refuse to take accountability for them. You can see that in Justin Trudeau's typically narcissistic victim response, dismissing anyone who dislikes him and his government as a racist, misogynist. Well, the things he always says.
I want to take a moment to address, in part, the video we saw this weekend of the Deputy Prime Minister being subjected to some extremely disturbing harassment and threats.
Just take note of the tone, by the way. Immediately he's like, I want to take a moment just to... As though there's been a terror attack or something, you know, with the backdrop of 3, no less, 2S LGBTQIA+ flags.
And this is not an isolated incident. Sadly, this is something we're seeing more and more of. Certainly, members of this community have seen it, but we're seeing increasingly people in public life, people in positions of responsibility, particularly women, racialized Canadians, people of minority or different community groups.
That scumbag who shouted at Chrystia Freeland, the only reason he was doing it is because she's a woman. And this is an opportunity for me to explain how anyone who criticises us is a racist or a misogynist. He says these attacks on public figures are becoming more common. You mean people are criticising you publicly and shouting at your politicians in the street more and more often? Maybe this is an opportunity for some introspection. But of course, as a vile narcissist, you're incapable of it.
Being targeted almost because of the increasing strength of your voices, of your positions, of the impact you're having around the world.
Just watch how his already vacant expression becomes more so, how his eyes glaze over in that last sentence.
Being targeted almost because of the increasing strength of your voices, of your positions, of the impact you're having around the world.
It's almost as though he's realizing, oh, right, yeah, maybe we're causing some of the division in society. Maybe people are starting to attack each other because they're becoming so distressed and upset with their own lives. They're lashing out at one another. More in-group, out-group mentality. This man is such a narcissist that I don't even believe he's Machiavellian. I don't even think he's ever planned to do any harm to Canada. Nor has he planned to do any good, by the way. He doesn't care. Just so long as he gets the validation that he absolutely 100% believes he deserves.
And around our country, we're seeing a backlash. And we've seen it, first of all, over the past many years. Anytime a woman speaks up on social media, she is so often subject to harassment and toxicity that we actually seeing her rights and her voice and her freedom of expression diminished.
I think I've spoken about this in previous videos before, that I'm not really sure that women do suffer more online abuse than men. I don't know how you would go about proving that if it were the case, but that's a whole other discussion that I haven't got time to go into today. But I find it absolutely fucking staggering that someone like Justin Trudeau would have the gall to say anything about censorship and denying people freedom of expression. But of course he's got the goal, because he's a pathological narcissist. Later in the video, we're going to take a look at what Canadians have had to put up with for the last 2 years, and maybe you'll get an idea of why they're so frustrated with their politicians.
We need more women and racialized Canadians and diverse communities to be strong voices in politics, in media, where we're seeing reporters increasingly getting attacked for calling out hatred and indifference. And
calling out indifference? Is being indifferent a crime now? Calling out hatred, hate crimes. Calling out indifference, indifferent crime. So a hate crime would be a go back to your own country, you whatever racial slur. What in the hell is an indifference crime? You are free to come and go, citizen of the world. I don't care. I'm indifferent.
And discrimination. We have to ask ourselves what kind of country we are, what kind of country we want to be.
Now, this is just a hunch, but I guess most Canadians would like to be the country that they were before all of this happened.
Okay.
Well, I stayed with Freeland. She went to Harvard, Oxford, Rhodes Scholar, speaks 5 languages, best-selling author, fighter.
Yeah, there is all that, but then again...
So you're confirming that accounts have been frozen, both personal and corporate, but you're not releasing the information. And the actual follow-up is, I'm just wondering whether the bank accounts will be targeted of individuals who donated to the Give, Send, Go and the GoFundMe campaigns. Are they considered designated people under the Emergencies Act, meaning that their credit cards could be cut and financial services are targeting them as well?
Okay, so the names of both individuals and entities as well as crypto wallets, have been shared by the RCMP with financial institutions, and accounts have been frozen, and more accounts will be frozen. Crowdfunding platforms and payment service providers have started the registration process with FinTrack. In terms of the specifics on whose accounts are being frozen, you now have the regulations. The financial service providers have those regulations as well, and they, working with law enforcement, will be making the operational decisions.
There's another part of me that thinks,
Shut the fuck up!